Hey, so today I just want to remind you to keep up the discipline and stick to really trying out all the strengthening exercises, the very basic exercises that we've talked about since the beginning. And the little idea about instrument playing or violin playing that I wanted to share is the idea that basic how important basic strength really is in playing the violin. I think this is often ignored um, in favor of like the more cool idea of, hey, if you find the perfect posture, you will never experience pain. Um, Now, recently in the last few years, I've worked more with absolute beginners in violin. I mean, I did too in college sometimes, but I've worked with my best friend Alex on young kids, and I think working with them has actually proven to me that strength is important because regardless of their, like you would think, violin is all about fine motor skills and mental focus, right? Regardless of that, of course, that matters a lot. But when you take two just completely raw beginners, kids who are just physically stronger, and just normally physically stronger, um, just have better posture. Because when they do things, they're just structurally just able to sustain any physical contortion or anything better than those little kids who are just as smart, just as talented, sometimes even more so, but are not physically as strong. So if it's true for these little kids, these it's just their raw right material, and the stronger ones, like for example, the kids are just stronger even in sports or whatever, and they pick up the violin and they get their posture just settles in much faster. Um, so and also for these younger kids, the kids who are consistently able to do like some of these basic strength exercises, basics, over the course of several weeks without slacking off, end up just developing faster in general. Um, and I think this also remains true no matter how advanced you get. Um, of course, when you're older, the question is, how do you balance your life? How do you always keep physical health and strength and all that kind of stuff? But the core concept, I don't think the core concept changes. So if you're just a weak person in general, right? Let's take an example of somebody who has bad nutrition in their diet. I know I'm sounding like a health trainer now, but let's say you're just a bad health diet, and let's say you play in the opera pit orchestra, right? Then first of all, opera pit orchestra is physically very straining, right? So your body is always having to kind of adjust, and body is very strong and flexible, so it tries to adjust to the bad posture, strains, and all that kind of stuff. However, if your nutrition is bad, most likely all the joints and the muscles and all these parts of your body that normally would be able to cope with that stress or the bad posture or whatever, right? It's probably not going to be able to do so because of malnutrition, right? And same thing, like if maybe you're not doing something else outside of music or something to keep yourself healthy, to come back to that state of health all the time, then your body will be constantly in that bad posture or whatever, and it will never be able to cope with all that negative physical activity. um, so uh, I think it is important to realize that that physical strength, physical health, and all the basics are actually more important long term than you would think, because that's the foundation. That's how you physically sustain this. And then on top of that, we're supposed to add on good technique, correct technique, and we're supposed to learn how to use that healthy body correctly to play the violin very well. So, so I'm mentioning this to encourage find either using the pattern or the technique that I've suggested in the previous videos, or at least finding some routine similar to that and sticking to it, like a workout. You can't get buff in even 1 or 2 weeks. For most people, it takes months and years, right? You need to do that and commit to it. You can adjust it, but you need to commit to the idea first. Make the decision that, oh yes, this matters, and I'm going to take care of this continuously until I develop, forever, basically. Okay. Cool. So keep up the work, and then I'll I will continue my rant tomorrow.